belongs to the underdogs. I was going to say let's grab our scalpels, but that sounds a little slashery. So let's just take a deeper look at the anatomy of a comeback here, starting in Oklahoma City. That's where the Thunder took their first loss of the postseason. Nikola Jokic, look at him here, coaching up his teammates. They trailed by as many as 14 points in this one, Shanae. This is Jokic draining an open three midway through the fourth.
Yeah, he's totally become the coach on the floor, and he's transformed their offense by simply taking over games. He's a 7-footer with beautiful touch. He's literally right here playing isolation versus the entire squad, and no one can guard him.
42 points, 22 rebounds, and 6 assists. He's the fourth player in NBA history to have that type of performance in the playoffs, and he did it against the best defense in the NBA in the regular season, a team with 68 wins, Andrea.
7-footer using the jab step to set up the three, but this was a big-time play. Great execution from OKC down the stretch.
The only problem was that was really the last time we saw Shai Gilgeous-Alexander make that impact for a while here. So Christian Brown gets it into Aaron Gordon here, and the Thunder decides to play the foul game. Aaron Gordon would go ahead to make both free throws here. Andre, what do you think of the strategy?
Yeah, I didn't like the call. Nikola Jokic was still on the sideline when they fouled that early.
And then they fouled Chet Holmgren here. These are going to haunt Chet. I know the Servant is allegedly haunted in OKC, but apparently so are these free throws down the stretch.
Yeah, this was hard to watch because he held the second free throw for a long time. Sometimes you need to stay in rhythm and brick them both.
And no timeouts here for the Denver Nuggets. Christian Brown pushing it ahead. Russell Westbrook, for a second you were worried he wouldn't make the pass, but he did. He made the right play. And Aaron Gordon made them pay. A huge three-pointer there for AG. One more shot here for Oklahoma City. They couldn't get it to go. Gordon gives the Nuggets a Game 1 win in dramatic fashion. Here is how it sounded.
Missed it again. Rebound down to Christian Brown. You got to hurry. 8-7 seconds. Front court over to Westbrook. Left side Gordon for the win. Yeah! And the Denver Nuggets shock the Oklahoma City Thunder in game number 1. Oh, baby!
The late game heroics for Aaron Gordon continue. Here's head coach David Adelman with his team in the locker room after the win.
You don't always play your best when you win. And we can play better than that. But what I love about man today, the mentality of how you play. Every time out I sat down, I knew that you knew the game was not over. We have a chance. There's a situation. Something that can happen here. Turn the tide. And a lot of guys stepped up, man. A lot of guys. And you play for each other. And when you do that, you give yourself a chance. Crazy happens in the playoffs when you just stick to it. Stay together. Right? Newsflash. It's only one game.
We didn't expect our whole run to be sunshine and rainbows. And we know that. It's about how we respond, and there's nothing we can do about what just happened. So there's no point to have our head down or be sad about it or sulk about it. All we can do is be better for the next game, and that's what we're focused on.
Those felt like winter outfits, like Met Gala outfits. But anyway, the Thunder, they've been incredible all year. But because of that, they have played in the fewest clutch games in the NBA this season. OKC only had 8 games the entire regular season that were within 3 points in the final 30 seconds. The Nuggets, on the other hand, they had 23. And that experience showed as we say hello to our senior writer, Brian Windhorst. Windy, what was OKC's biggest issue, do you think, looking down the stretch here?
Yeah, I know there's going to be a lot of focus on some of the decision-making with the strategy at the end. But one of the things that has bothered the Thunder in big losses over the last couple of years is when their offense kind of evaporates under pressure. It's either Shai or nothing, and that's what happened in this game.
Yeah.
Shai made a basket with about 4.5 minutes left that put them up 11. At that point, you really thought on their home court they were going to take it. Malika, then they went 1 of 8 shooting down the stretch, and they had some missed free throws. You saw the ones from Chet. They still don't have a 100% reliable second option. I know that sometimes that's Jalen Williams. It wasn't last night. He was 5 of 20 in that game. And so while the shot at the end, some of Jokic's plays and some of the strategy were a factor, of course, the offensive shutdown is what opened the door to let Denver make the move.
You know, when I think about it, you talk about the close games, right, that the Thunder haven't played in and that the Nuggets have played in. It's not even just the regular season. The the Oklahoma City Thunder didn't have a tough first round. They blew through the first round. Meanwhile, the Denver Nuggets, think of the close games that they just went through against the Clippers. They had an overtime win. What did they have? A 2-point loss. They had a 3-point win. They had close games. To me, the Denver Nuggets, they look like they have been here before because they have. They're a group that's won a championship, but they've also just recently been through very tight games, and they know what it takes to win. And I know everyone's going to talk about Aaron Gordon with the 3-point shot at the end, but that 3-point shot was a culmination of an excellent game by Aaron Gordon. 7 of his 14 rebounds were offensive. He had exciting plays that ignited the team. You saw him put that dunk through Chet Holmgren. I know this is a big-time shot, but the cuts he made, the plays he made, and the energy that he played with, he made winning plays all night long.
The game rewards the game, but it is a culmination of the regular season. He worked so hard in the offseason on improving his three-point shooting. He shot a career-high 43% from three during the regular season, and now he's sort of seeing the proof in the pudding when the games matter the most.
Yeah, but I love the games within the games because the Oklahoma City Thunder had the highest scoring differential in NBA history this regular season, winning their games by 13 points. The next 4 in that category, as you see right here, Thunder, Lakers, Bucks, Bulls, Warriors, they all won the title. So there's pressure there. But this is the game within the game because if you think about their lack of being able to play in clutch time, they played the fewest clutch time games. Now you're running into, what did I call it, the immovable object? And Nikola Jokic, who literally thrives in clutch time. He's 4th in points, 3rd in rebounds, 2nd in assists. So now they're going to have to, as you mentioned, Malika, learn on the fly. And I think when you look at the matchup, I said yesterday, it's the center position that really has to step up for them. That's what they went in. They got Hartenstein. They have Holmgren there. Now you have to make sure that is, showing up against Jokic when it matters most.
And while the others showed up for Denver to help out Nikola Jokic's monster night, Russell Westbrook, big game, Aaron Gordon, big game, it's those others, as Brian was saying, that maybe weren't quite there for Oklahoma City. So Denver gets game 1 here. Let's stick with the theme of a comeback because we had not 1, but 2 last night. The Celtics, they had a 20-point lead over the Knicks in game 1. That usually means game over for Boston's opponents. Entering this game, they were 40-1 this season when they led by 20-plus points. But what had happened was Boston stopped hitting
Girl,
threes.
that's an understatement. They went, it's not cold, they went frozen.
Icy.
Right,
they were in the cold plunge. They only shot 29% on uncontested threes in game 1, and while that was happening, the Knicks were balling out. 5 minutes left in the third. OG Anunoby hits a wide open 3 there. He was cooking.
His best game ever in the playoffs, but of course, what you love about this squad is the fact that they all have confidence. OG bending over backwards, making a pass. The ball, this 3 right here, I was like, whoa, these guys might be able to pull this off.
But how do you not try to close or contest right there on Jalen Brunson?
This was the one that shut me up. Boom.
New York in front. Watch out now. Less than a minute later.
I call it the Brunson Boogie, baby.
The Brunson Boogie, and this was the Brunson burner on Al Horford. New York went on a 45-19 run to take the lead. Boston still struggling to shoot the ball. Brunson chipped in 16 points during that span. Here, though, is the puzzling play for me here.
I'm so mad just watching because these are talented players with advantages. Here you have a post player, the paint wide open instead. Countless times I asked Boston fans, how do you feel? They're like, we're stressed, y'all, because they keep settling for threes when you have the advantage over the Robinsons, the Harts, the Brunsons. Instead, you're shooting threes on a night that you missed the most ever in NBA history.
And having so many shooters around you is what opens up the paint for those driving opportunities.
And so to overtime we go, or should I call it Mikal Bridges' time? Because he struggled a bit earlier in this game, not anymore. Hits that corner 3, New York up by 6 there. Now you see him, now you don't. Jaylen Brown gets it on the wing, starts to drive, and he's fouled. But the foul's called on the floor.
Right call, by the way.
Absolutely.
Before the gather.
Let's take one more look. You can see.
There's the foul, and then there's the shot.
Exactly. Sideline out of bounds for the Celtics here. What did we say about Mikal Bridges' time?
Two-way player.
He rips the ball away to end the game. The Knicks go on the road and steal game 1. That's some highway robbery right there. One more look at that play from Mikal Bridges. Here's Jalen Brunson on the mindset to get the comeback in this one.
Told each other just keep believing and just keep fighting, sticking together, and keep chipping away. Now, it wasn't just going to be a 20-point shot where you can just come back. We just had to keep chipping away possession by possession.
This team has fought all year. It's been a pretty good road team. We've had to endure some things with guys being out, and I think over time that helps you. You build up your mental toughness and understanding how important that is.
Check out the cover of the New York Daily News this morning. A little Goodwill Hunting. How do you like them apples? Brian, do you believe that last night's performance by the Knicks is repeatable?
No. Not so much what the Knicks did, but I know I'm in trouble now. I'm in trouble with all my Knicks fan friends. The Celtics missed 32 open, clean look three-pointers, and I just don't think that's going to happen again. What I do think is repeatable, what the Knicks have shown they've been able to do for a while now, is win clutch time, because they have the best clutch time player in the NBA. So however they get to clutch time in any game in this series, whether it's by hook or by crook, by missed free throws, missed three-pointers, whatever happens, that is what I think is repeatable. I think they can win clutch time. They've also proven that they can win on the road. They're 4-0 on the road in this postseason, 3-0 in the last series. They win in Boston in Game 1. I don't think they can count on the Celtics having historically bad volume shooting nights. So, but obviously, this is how the Knicks have to get through. They have to steal games here and there. They're 1 for 1 in that one.
Listen, I'm going to give the Knicks a little bit more credit than Brian Windhorst just did. And this isn't because the Knicks gave me a hard time last season in the postseason. Knicks fans gave me absolute hell last postseason. However, there are some things that are repeatable for the Knicks. We also can't act like the Knicks played a perfect game. When you talk about Karl Anthony Towns, he was limited in scoring. Mikal Bridges was 3 of 13. They gave up 19 offensive rebounds. So 1, the Knicks can play better. But 2, the defensive possession to tie the game in the fourth quarter, it wasn't because the Celtics settled. In fact, Jason Tatum doesn't settle on this possession. OG Anunoby's guarding the ball. Jason Tatum goes over the screen, continues to be in attack mode. Karl Anthony Towns moves his feet, and OG Anunoby gets the steal. This is the possession that tied the game. That defensive effort and defensive energy can be repeated to help the Knicks keep this a competitive series.
Well, we said yesterday the way that the Knicks can win is the law of averages. And I think we took that to the extreme when we forecasted potentially the Celtics missing shots. So I'm even more high on the Knicks because now they have the confidence knowing that we stole one on the road. Yeah. We have not just one. Everyone talks about Brunson being a closer. OG Anunoby, 55 out of their 63 points in the second half and overtime were between those two. So they have 2 closers. You have potentially a better game from Cat. You're returning home feeling like, all right, like game 2, whether what happens or not, like we're feeling good, like we can compete in this series. You gave the wrong team, most importantly, the wrong city.
Right. The New York Knicks, they went out and got big wings for the Boston Celtics. I'm not saying that this is some sort of proof of the New York Knicks being the better team in this series, but this is why they go out and get those sorts of wings. Also, we harp so much on Tom Thibodeau and never getting out of a drop. I just want to give a little credit to most switches that we've ever seen here for the New York Knicks. And it worked. But Boston, to your point, missed an NBA record 45 three-pointers in Game 1. It's the third quarter that's drawing a ton of attention here. The Celtics attempted a grand total of 1 shot inside the three-point line for the entire quarter. They were outscored 30-23. Here's Tatum on their shot selection.
Obviously, in hindsight, if we could go back, we probably would drive the ball a little bit more because we missed a lot of shots tonight. But, there's a balance. Sometimes, some make or miss lead. And then there's sometimes where, you can get a better shot.
Andrea, I hear you're bothered. I hear there's something about the Celtics that's bothering you.
Well, yeah, because when you talk about it, there's a difference between the Celtics in a system or the Celtics settling. Are you playing within system or are you settling for those threes? And that is the biggest thing for me. And when Jason Tatum talks about being able to get a better shot, there were a couple of plays. I know they had some open threes, but there were a couple of plays where they could have went from a good shot to a great shot. And there's a big difference in that.
It's not even just a couple of plays. You have the ball. You have the mismatch. You have Brunson in front of you. You got a foot on him. You have Hart in front of you. You have mismatches with the post, and you're still shooting those threes. Sometimes you wish you had a teammate, because if I were their teammate, I'd be like, y'all, attack, go inside. Look, I absolutely still believe the Boston Celtics are the team to beat. They are the favorite. They've been there. They've done that. They're deeper. People don't talk about Porzingis missing those crucial minutes as well. So